Hello, welcome to this course on marketing research. My name is Vishal Lala. I'm a professor in the Department of Marketing at the Lubin School of Business of Pace University. I've been here for a long time now, almost 20 years, and I've taught this course on marketing research a number of times in many different formats, including this one. I'm going to give you some more structure about this course right now by walking through some slides on myself and about the course. So again, my name is Vishal Lala, and I am at Pace University, Department of Marketing. I'm also a data science consultant. You can learn more about me on LinkedIn. My background is in a few different areas. This Venn diagram effectively lays out the background or a bit about what I know. What you don't see on front in the slide is my undergraduate degree, which was in a whole different area. It was in chemistry. My MBA and PhD were in marketing. I enjoyed working with computers while doing my PhD, and I took a bunch of courses in computer science, and ultimately also picked up a degree in management information systems and MS and MIS, that is. I enjoy working with all things data, so statistics is an area of interest of mine. So that's my knowledge background. Um, at um, at Pace, I teach a number of courses, including this course you're taking in marketing research. I also teach a number of courses that I have created, including a course on predictive analytics, a course in visual analytics, a doctoral course in multivariate data analysis, a course in data mining, and a number of other such courses in analytics. Aside from analytics, I also teach a course on consumer research, or I have taught a course in consumer research for doctoral students. On occasion, I'll teach intro marketing courses, and I also teach a course on digital marketing. My research is in areas including decision making, examining the choices people make as consumers, the role web and social media and digital media in general play in consumer decision making, and the effect sales promotions have on people's choices. You can learn more about my research on Google Scholar. When I'm not teaching or doing research, I'm usually spending time with my two sons, Rohan and Nikhil. I enjoy all things data. When I'm not dabbling with data, playing with my sons, I'm usually out working out, swimming, playing volleyball, spending time outdoors, or doing things for the betterment of animals. All right, let's move on to what you're here for. You're here to take a course on marketing research. This course is one that's close to heart because it does a really good job of pulling together a number of things that I value greatly. So what inspires me about this course is the fact that it is really focused on solving business problems, while doing so in a manner that embraces an understanding of human psychology, how people think, how people act. It does this by working with data gathered on people, applying appropriate statistical methods to the data, and then synthesizing the results into a data story. This is an application-oriented course. It examines the research process utilized by firms. The course covers research design, measurement scales, questionnaire design, analysis of survey and secondary data, and lastly, presentation of those results. My approach in teaching this course is inspired by a Chinese proverb, tell me and I forget, teach me and I may remember, involve me and I learn. Thus, the goal is to learn by engaging as much with the course as possible. And my goal here is to get you as involved in the course as possible. In the spirit of learning by doing, the approach to teaching or this course is for me to discuss a certain topic and then give you an opportunity to demonstrate your learning by doing an assignment on it. Ultimately, you'll get tested in what you have learned in the exam. They say in life there are no second chances, but sometimes there are, and sometimes there are even third chances. Specifically, what I mean by that is the goal is to learn by doing. When you do something, you are bound to stumble or make mistakes. I want these mistakes to be a learning opportunity. So for certain assignments that are auto-graded, if you don't do so good, you'll have a second chance or even a third chance to get it right. Your score on the highest, your last attempt is what counts towards your score, right? So this really emphasizes again the spirit of this course, which is to emphasize learning by doing. Now, at the end of this course, I'm hoping that you will develop research designs to gather primary data and learn about the different kinds of secondary data available. You'll learn how to develop instruments for gathering data, specifically questionnaires. You'll be able to analyze data using suitable statistical techniques such as regression, ANOVA, and so on. You'll be able to present results using compelling data visualizations. And along the way, you'll master the use of various kinds of software like IBM's SPSS, Salesforce's Tableau, web-based tools like Qualtrics, Google Trends, and so on, and many more. The pedagogical materials for this course include the book by Don Iacobacci and Gilbert Churchill. This is a fairly inexpensive book, and I'll be following, broadly speaking, the structure of that course. There's another book by Naresh Malhotra, which hasn't been updated in quite a while, but that's also a very good book on research. There's a really good book by Andy Field called Discovering Statistics Using SPSS, which will be very handy when it comes to learning how to analyze data using SPSS. Given that you are Pace University students, you also have access to a lot of the materials shared on LinkedIn Learning. You have full access to all the materials on there, including the linked course under this link. All the software that are required for this course will be provided to you, or you'll be shared. Link will be shared with you on how you can access those software or tools. These will come at no cost to you. Similarly, you'll have access to the slides and articles associated with this course, and all will be available on the course platform called Classes or Brightspace. A bit about the assessment of the course. This course is worth 500 or assignments. It'll have many assignments, including, each assignment's worth 50 points, which adds up to 500 points for assignments, and the exam is worth 500 points. In a minute, I'll show you the assignments and give you a tour of classes as well. So a question that often comes up is how to do well in this course. Well, to do well in this course, review the content of the course, finish things on time, and stay on top of your schedule by being organized. At the end of every semester, I also survey all my students to ask them how they did on this course and what advice they have for future students. This link here will show you the feedback shared by past students. As you review this feedback, bear in mind that the feedback here includes the experiences of students who've taken this course in many different modalities and formats, including online and in person and even via Zoom. So again, and finally, just keep in mind, keep in mind that feedback here is uncensored. So if there's any caustic language out here, that is out of my control. But that's straight from the students about what worked for them, what didn't work for them. Let me take you to a tour of Classes now. So Classes is our platform we'll be using for this course. So I'll take you right to the homepage or the start page. If you've worked with this class before, or if you've taken a course on this platform before, you're familiar with how the platform works. So just to give you a quick, overview of the platform itself and its many nuances. Under announcements, I'll share with you, pretty much you'll get an announcement twice a week here. It'll appear right here. You'll also get an email notification. You can influence the notifications you get for updates to classes by clicking on, I think, your name, and then you have an option to specify whether you want a mobile update or an email update or a notification of updates made to classes. I highly recommend having email updates turned on, which I believe is the default. So whenever I post an assignment, an announcement, you will get a email notification about the update. Under these cards, under these cards, you're going to find various elements of the course. So right now, in the first one about this course, if I were to click on this link, it'll take us into that card. Now, I recommend limiting yourself to these two buttons. These two buttons are all you need, right? There's other options on the right, some that are accessible to you, some not, because you may be on student view. So I'm going to start here by clicking on the About This Course card. When you go in here, you're going to notice there's information here about the slides for this session. So typically, I'm going to share with you here a link for slides and the video. As you can see, the introduction video link is kind of grayed out because, well, there's no information on there because I'm recording the video right now. The slides I showed you up here called First Day are the ones that I've posted on here in classes as well. Once we're done, I'm hoping you'll introduce yourself here to your peers in the class. Now, as you notice on the left, there are a bunch of different options, a number of links. These are the content cards you saw on the homepage. So again, all the information is nicely accessible from within content. I recommend following through with just this content section. There's a syllabus up here, which I'm going to go to very soon. Since I'm in the content, let me just stick with content for now. So under content, you'll notice here there's one, and I'll click on that here. And under one, you're going to see more about the Introduction to Marketing Research module. Here, I have both a video available for you as well as slides for that module. So this will open on, shortly. When it does open on that date, typically early morning, you'll have access to the video as well as slides for that topic, the very first chapter of this course. So your plan should involve then, tracking the schedule, which I'll share with you shortly, and learning about the materials on here, right? Now, once you've done that, in some cases, like if you go to the next topic here, not this one, but if I go further down to secondary data, you'll notice not only do you have slides and video, but you also have, so you've got these videos listed out here, lecture videos. And then you've also got information about how to access the software described in these links. And if you scroll down further, you'll notice here is assignment number 1, right? So assignment number 1 involves going here and getting some, doing something. So basically click on the link and then you'll be asked a few questions about the information behind that link. In this case, finding out some data from the US Census and plugging into text boxes your answer, right? So when you finish with that, hit the submit button and then you get basically, you get a score on your performance on this assignment. If you're not happy with your score, as I noted before, assignment 1 is completely auto-graded, which means if you don't like your score, you do it again and you can do it yet another time. So you get 3 shots at getting assignment 1, section 1 correct. Okay, so that's a little bit about how the assignments work and a bit about the content, the slides, and so on. Let me go into the syllabus right now to give you sort of like more detail on the course structure. So a bit about me and so on. There's sort of like information I shared with you earlier about me, but if you happen to stop by the base campus, you can find me in my office, 418D. I'm not in my office right now, clearly from the background you can tell. There's also my email address on here to get a hold of me directly. And then there's some details about the course itself listed down here. Make this bigger. Okay. And stuff I've already gone over with you, like the book and so on. And some more structure, some more information about the course itself. So the exam is worth half your grade. An important component of the course is at the very end, the exam. So it should be singular, not plural exam. And the assignments are worth 500 points as well. So you have basically 10 assignments. Each assignment is worth 50 points. You can do it at your own pace, and so on. Let me scroll down to the most important part of this course, which is to the schedule. The schedule lays out what you can do week by week in this course. So, for example, May 28th, that is the first day of the class, you will be expected to review this video that I'm recording right now, as well as the first chapter slides and video. Now, the information in the parentheses describes what the content is based on. So it's based on chapters 1 and 2 from the book by Don Iacobucci and Gilbert Churchill. And then on the very next day, Friday, May 29th, you're going into modules 2 and 3, and so you have this information shared with you about that. So all this information is available then to you by May 29th. So it's kind of like back-to-back Thursday, Friday here, just because I'm trying to stay with a Monday, Friday schedule for content, right? So on Friday, you'll have more content appearing. And if you wanted to, you could get started right away after that, but you want to make sure by the end of day, June 1st, you have completed assignment 1, secondary data. So you have basically a few days here to learn the content on secondary data and then complete the assignment 1 on this. Now, some assignments have multiple sections. So if you've got, an A, B, C, D, you've got to do all 4 sections to get credit for that assignment. Okay. So again, it's very important to note here, assignment 1 is due by the end of day, Monday, June 1st. Going down further, so on Monday, June 1st, you get to do a few more modules and so on. And then there's an assignment due on June 5th, also based on secondary data, right? We get on June 5th, you have new content here. This one looking at survey design and survey scales, and then you have an assignment based on that the following class. So due by June 8th then. So assignment 3 is due by June 8th, end of day, June 8th. And as I scroll down this list, you'll notice a pattern again. We have cover a certain topic, and then there's an assignment based on that. So here's something might be puzzling if you review this after we're done with the video. There's an assignment X, right? So inspired by Elon Musk's decision to rebrand Twitter, I've got an assignment X out here, which basically means that assignment X is like that extra assignment in a sense. So, sometimes life happens and you miss an assignment. You shouldn't, but if you do, assignment X is designed to replace that score. If you were good enough about doing all the assignments on time, but you didn't live up to your full potential in a certain assignment, then assignment X can kind of plug that hole. So let's say you get a 35 out of 50 on some assignment, and you happen to get a perfect score on assignment X. I'll replace that not so perfect score with assignment X score of 50. Then this is your so like bonus assignment, if you will, available, right? Our exam is on July 10th, the very last day of the semester of this short session, and I'll share with you more details about the exam when we get there. Right? Now, what I want to leave you with here is that this the schedule that I've shown with you here, shared with you here, has a number of assignments in the rightmost column, right? These are due, as it notes, says by the end of date in the first column. So assignment 1 is due by 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time, June 1st, right? Just kind of bear that in mind. And the assignment dates are set in stone. So if you happen to miss an assignment and you don't submit by the due date, that opportunity is lost. So you want to be really good about staying on top of your schedule and getting things done in time. All right, so that was a bit about your the class schedule. I'm going to flip back right now the slides to see if there's to share with you some more information about the class. Okay, so going back to this slide here, I talked about how to do well in this course. So let me finish off here with a bit about my philosophy about this course. So this course is important to me because I feel like I this is my opportunity to make a difference in your lives. Um, I I'm the kind of person who believes it's really important to get things done in time, to show up. And for example, I have this although an online class doesn't apply here, I have not missed an in-person class in over 14 years. In fact, the last time I missed an in-person class, didn't show up, was the time my second son was born on October 31st of 2011. But since then, no matter what, I am really good about showing up, no matter what happens, whether it's a broken ankle, which happened uh, 4 months ago, whether it's a fractured arm or an ulnar nerve transposition surgery, no matter what happens, I show up, I go into class every single time. Another thing that is really important to me is to treat everybody fairly. Everybody is at the same level and gets the same treatment. I also believe in the importance of working hard, not quitting, and taking on a challenge by the horns. And another thing about my personal belief in life is that learning doesn't end in college, and there's always an opportunity to learn from every person, every experience in life, and everybody around you. So keep learning in a sense. And the reason I share that with you is because what I expect from you then is because I will always show up, you'll show up. While it's an online class, be attentive would apply more in person. But in general, when you're doing something, give it your 100%. Like put all your devices aside, just focus entirely on what you're doing. Um, since I believe in fairness, you can be assured that nobody will get any special treatment. And I expect very much that each one of you will comply with the deadlines for this course, get things done in time. And those are sort of like my expectations built off of my own philosophy. So that's all I have for you in this opening introductory video. What I'd like you to do at this stage is to go into classes and share with me and the rest of the class a bit more about yourself. So your name, your area of study, experience working with a company, what you expect to learn from this course, and then finally something interesting about yourself. You want to make it exciting, you want to do a video, you're welcome to do that as well, right? And as always, if you have any questions, feel free to email me. My email is blala, blala @pace.edu. Thank you, and I look forward to interacting with you in this course.